Hey everyone, so I wanted to make a video talking about how do we create a sense of safety when things are totally out of control and chaotic. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because, as I've stated in the past, and I've also witnessed again and again in the past and recently, people in akathisia, if they can have someone to talk to, create a feeling of safety, help them to get some objectivity and not challenge them, but like help them to reframe the way that they're thinking, because someone in that type of episode is so jacked up that they can't think rationally, they can't really think clearly at all. And so if they can have someone to bounce off of, like their thought processes and how much they're afraid of how they're feeling in their body. I have seen it happen numerous times now where someone was screaming akathisia over the course of a 1 hour conversation will dial down to like from a 10 out of 10 to like a 2 out of 10. And it's so important. And when I coach people, I always ask them, especially in a first meeting, do you have support? Do you have real life support? So people who believe, validate what you're going through. Do you have online support, whether it's in a form of a coach and or people who are going through the process as well? Because pretty much straight across the board, the one thing that can help even a little bit in the moment or even for a few hours is having a safe person or a sense of safety. And it's so incredibly important. I've even thought about starting up group calls myself, just so people can connect with each other and just take it outside of the group, where they can phone someone when they're in a crisis state and just help them work through it. And I realize that not everybody has real life support or in-person support, where a lot of people that I talk to live alone. They don't have a spouse with them or parents or children that they see every day, all day. And being alone, especially when you're in that state, is incredibly difficult, because you're just experiencing all the symptoms and all the fear, the terror, the looping thoughts, everything that's going on, and it's just this crisis state. And if you don't have anybody to help you, like that safe person to help you to calm down, like it's so important to have. And that's why groups, and I know some other coaches have groups, real life support, online support is so important. It was important for myself, and I think it's important for everyone. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and sometimes we just can't access, especially in those states, you just cannot access any feelings of safety whatsoever. So in addition to trying to connect people online and asking about people's in life, like real life support, another thing is that can be helpful for those moments when you can't reach anyone, you can't get a hold of a coach, you can't get a hold of your supports. What do you do? So this has been helpful for me and other people. So when you're in a window, even if it's just a partial window where you can kind of think clearly, you're feeling relatively calm in your body, make a video of yourself and talk to yourself in a way that you would talk to your children if you have children, or how you would perceive or how even potentially experience a coach talking to you. What do you find helpful in those moments? When someone is in a deep crisis state, and there's a lot of self-blame in this. There's so many people who are either in an acute crisis state or not, and are just experiencing this awful experience as a whole. There's so much self-blame, and why did I do this? Why did I, how stupid could I be? And I see this a lot with a lot of people. And so specifically, if I know the person has children, I try to reframe it once they've gotten a little bit calmed down and say, like, if your child was feeling incredibly unsafe, or if they were perceiving danger and you weren't around, say it happened at school, and they did something to calm themselves down in that moment, it's nothing dangerous, just something that maybe they feel like they're too old to do, like they were clutching a stuffy, or they were crying on the playground or something like that, and they were regretting it later and being like, oh, I'm so stupid, like why did I do that? And how would you talk to your child in that moment? Would you say, yeah, like you're way too old for that, like snap out of it, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, quit being so like, no, you would say, you have to do, you were feeling sad or you were feeling scared, And it's okay to comfort yourself or to do what you need to do in those moments to make yourself feel safe and to get yourself calm again and able to move forward in your day. And once I reframe that and tell people that, like, how would you talk to your child, or if they don't have children, make a video of yourself when you are feeling a little bit calmer and just give yourself like a pep talk, so that when you are in crisis, you can turn it on and be like, and listen to yourself. Not only does that help you to see that your body and brain have the capability of feeling some level of safety sometimes, but also hearing those words, even if you just have your eyes closed and you're just walking around and you're not even looking at your camera, but you're playing it back. All of that is powerful. I mean, we're human beings at the end of the day, and everybody needs a safe person. Everybody needs a sense of comfort. And there's so much blaming. People blame themselves all the time, and it's almost like, I don't want to call it a lesson because that sounds like punishment, but when you go through this experience, for myself, I've always been very hard on myself, very self-critical, negative, and this experience and my previous anxiety disorder that I got through really helped me to learn how to be compassionate towards myself. And as I've stated in previous videos, many people harmed by these drugs are deep empaths. They're sensitive people. They feel others' pain. And so they tend to, want to always be helping others, but they tend to be the hardest on themselves. And so this experience can really teach you to be compassionate like you are to others towards yourself. So I always challenge people when they're really in that blaming mode and they're like, how, if say they took a rescue dose, or say it could be anything like that, just took something to try to ease their pain in that moment if they were feeling desperate. You can't change the past, but also if your child did that, how would you comfort them? Or if a coach was talking to you, which again, a lot of times people in crisis states will really come down in their level of suffering and crisis in that moment, just talking to someone, a safe person that can make them feel comfortable. How would they talk to you, and how would you find it beneficial? And record yourself doing that when you're feeling better. Anything that can contribute to a sense of safety. Is it a magic bullet? No. Does it mean you're cured? No. But that's how you get through until you start to feel better naturally. That's how you cope with those times that are so incredibly, you're at a 10 out of 10 jacked, neurologically, psychologically, physically. Everything is just, the alarm bells are a 10 out of 10. Your whole body's burning, you're freaking out, you're rocking back and forth, like screaming, pacing, crying, all of the above. Tugging. I used to tug at my hair and all of those things. And like, that's what people need in those moments. And I've seen it have an incredible impact when I'm talking to someone, sitting with them, remaining calm while I'm letting them freak out, in full crisis mode. But I'm, again, helping to reframe the way, because a lot of times what's coming through when they're talking, screaming, is like, how did I do this? And this is gonna last forever. This is never gonna go away, and I'm never gonna feel better. This is permanent. And like, just, it's this vicious cycle of, the fear and the crisis state is perpetuating the physical symptoms, and then the rise in physical symptoms is making them more afraid, and it's just this vicious cycle. So anything to break that. And so that's how I help people work through that. I don't have special powers. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm not saying, oh yeah, I have all the answers, but I have seen it time and time again now, where that sense of safety is often created or felt from another person. And that's why support, real life support, online support, coaches, and if you don't have access to any of that, making a video and reminding yourself, that giving yourself not a pep talk, but providing your own comfort through a video, or thinking about, how would I talk to my child, especially when that self-blame is just going and going and going. And I see this so often with people. How could I be so stupid? And it's usually after an event, like they just were so desperate, they needed something to calm down, or they took, a rescue dose. And it's just learning how to be compassionate towards yourself, because again, most people that I talk to, I can tell they're just such compassionate human beings, and they really are empathic, except towards themselves. There's just so much blame, so much criticizing, so hard on themselves. And so to learn how to do that and be compassionate towards yourself like you are to others, it'll take you a long way, and it'll also help you and be so beneficial beyond this experience, just in your day-to-day life after you feel better. So hopefully that's helpful. Let me know your thoughts on this, and if you've tried any of these, if you find that this is helpful for you, especially when you're in an acute and crisis state. There's not a lot you can do except find a sense of safety, and a lot of that is through people or through a person. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing okay, and I'll see you next time. Bye.